Monster Integration by N1. Chapter 101 Sandstorm 2. I shouted sandstorm with top of my lungs. People heard and looked at me, but when saw I am looking at the sky, they followed my gaze. Color had drained out of their faces as they understood the sandstorm is coming. Sandstorm is really dangerous, even the smallest one can threaten Lieutenant Grade Evolver if he caught the middle of it. Suddenly all the people started to use their full power fighting the sand scorpion, as there is still time to left sandstorm to arrive and people don't danger of scorpion lurking when they were facing sandstorm. I also started to fight after drinking the potion. It didn't take long to all scorpion to finished, as Corporal Grade Evolvers had killed 2 Corporal Grade monsters. All 4 Corporal Grade Evolvers had become free, and with them helping killing Specialist Grade monsters, the fight finished in a couple of minutes, and by the time fights finished, sandstorm had become visible and winds had become even stronger. The tent in your backpack would be better, I said to Ria when we find a suitable spot to activate the tent. You're right, she said, the gray-colored box, and pressed the button on top of it. We had founded 5 camps in Neil and Andrew stuff. While we use it had good defense capability, and it also has some basic necessity like bed and cupboard and other, but the one Ria had strongest defense but is very plain inside. The main reason for choosing this camp over its original that it is perfect in unfavorable weather condition, as it has grip drill function. For drills inside the tent burrow into the earth for better grip and stability, we will able to survive inside it as long as sandstorm is not overly powerful. The only flaw it had that one have to use 4 Corporal Grade monster core to fully power it to its apex, but this is not a problem for as we already had quite a few Corporal level monster cores. Other people have also their tent and started to enter their camp seeing the storm is very near. Would you mind if I and my brother took shelter in your tent? I heard from my behind. I looked back to see it is the cute girl in purple before with the older boy, who is also wearing a purple suit like her. It's same boy who was fighting 2 corporal level monster at once with mid-level corporal level power. Sure, I said after seeing Ria isn't opposed to the idea. The interior of the tent as expected is plain, with all gray without any extra component. The only saving grace is that the floor is quite soft and good sleep. We took off our backpacks and sat, as both brother-sisters sat. I couldn't help but notice that both of their backpacks are temporary. The ones I brought to keep extra monster parts when hunting in the Myasta first. They both noticed my gaze but didn't say, and I didn't inquire too, not to be true intrusive. I got quite shocked earlier when I saw that all the equipment that girl and boy are wearing is night grade, similar to that of Jim and his girlfriend is wearing. She had tried very hard to cover it, but she revealed when she performed killing shot at the sand scorpion. She has manipulated it last moment, and I luckily noticed from the corner of my eyes when defending against Sand Scorpion's tail. And looking, her and her brothers are the same, branded with Thunder God sigil. I can definitely assume that her brother equipment is both night grade. Look like night grade equipment aren't that rare as I imagined, just that they are only available to the organization's elite. And seeing their equipment, I can definitely say the boy hadn't completely used his power when fighting against scorpions, especially that cute girl brother. I can hear strong winds are colliding against the tent as we sat awkwardly staring at each other silently. It is very awkward to stay silent in the camp, only listening to the strong wind as the storm approaches us. Like girl, the boy also had strawberry blonde hair and blue eyes, but he looked handsome instead of cute like his sister. I am Jill and this is my brother, William, that you for giving us shelter, said cute Jill, with her speaking the awkward atmosphere diffused between us. It's nothing, replied Ria with a smile. I don't mind me asking, why aren't stayed in your teammates? Ria asked. I am also really curious about this, why aren't they stayed with the rest of their teammates? They aren't our teammates, we just met them at desert 3 days ago, she said. As for not staying in their camp, there is girl named Rita there who is really obnoxious that I got tired of it, and your tent is best to cope with the storm than theirs, Jill answered. Well, that explained a lot. I wouldn't want to be with obnoxious people who I just met a few days ago. I am just about to ask her another question when the wind collided against the tent. Dub. Strong wind collided against the tent that it started shaking. The storm is closing on us. Jill even summoned her minister and hugged it tightly after experiencing shaking. Soon more strong winds started colliding against our tent as it started shaking more forceful. It feels like the whole camp will be swept by the winds. The storm has arrived finally. Chapter 102 Sandstorm 3. Dung. Dung. The storm arrives as very strong winds started to collide with our tent. I felt very scared about hearing the noise and intense shaking. I feel like our tent would sweep in the storm and we all will be crushed inside it. Choo-choo. I don't when I called Ashlyn outside and hugged her fiercely that she started to complain. I am not the only one scared, all us are scared as Rhea had called Dee Dee outside and is now hugging her, and the boy William also called his monster. He hasn't had called his monster when fighting against the sand scorpions earlier, and looking at the monster, I can understand why after seeing his monster. When William had summoned his monster, the air in the tent had cooled down for the moment. It is boa, specifically an ice-type boa. It is about a 2-meter-long snow-white body with the icicle design all over its body. The monster looked both dangerous and elegant at the same time. I only saw 4 monsters of big organizations' elites, but each and every monster is unique with a very powerful ability. Jill's stag has extreme speed and it's still a baby. William's frost boa gives off the very dangerous feeling. Jim's girlfriend's lightning cat also give of the same feeling as Jim's girlfriend's cat. Only Jim's little snake seems mediocre, but I am sure that little snake defiantly has some special ability or Jim wouldn't have bonded with it. There is no point in comparing them to Ashlyn, but newly mutated Dee Dee also little pale compared to these 4 monsters. Hearing the wind, I am sure to have entered the storm as sounds are getting louder and louder, but our camp is still holding on, albeit shakingly. So, Jill, when do enter this realm? Do you know anything about the rescue team that is waiting by the Sind Forest? I asked to lighten up the mood. As I asked a question, I noticed William had angrily glared at Jill and her expression turned little guilty. We had arrived at this realm 9 days ago, she said. I had asked William to take me to the Green Hills. We were just going to take a look and return. She said, her face had become beet red and I can hear the guilt in her voice. So we didn't bring anything when we went to Green Hills except our weapons, but as we were walking toward the Green Hill, suddenly space layer stuck and we entered this realm, directly in the wasteland. I really feel pity for her. She may have forced her brother to come Green Hills with her without bringing any surviving gear, and unluckily they entered this realm before entering Green Hills, and top of that they arrived at this scorching wasteland and not in any other part of this realm. I can't imagine how hard their days have been without any surviving gear. Thank God they are intelligent enough to bring their weapons, or surviving in this wasteland would have become very difficult for them. The winds are becoming more stronger. The center of the storm will be upon us in 2 hours, said Rhea as she opened. Fuel box of the tent was only 2 corporal-grade monster core is placed while the other 2 places are empty. Rhea just about to add 2 more monster cores in empty spaces when she heard a voice behind her. Let me. You had been gracious enough to take us in your tent, we should at least contribute this much, said William as he placed 2 corporal-level core on the 2 remaining empty places. We should finish eating before the center of the storm arrive on us, Rhea said. William and Jill became awkward hearing food. I can guess from their expression that they don't have any presents food on them, and their temporary backpacks probably have some monster parts that they were going to cook in the evening. Smiling Rhea and I took out enough packet of preserved food that is enough for 4 humans and monster to eat. I had already some packaged monster meat in my backpack, and after killing Neil and Andrew, we also found tents for packets in their tent. They have enough to fill the bellies of 10 people for 4 days. We have half our monster meat and packaged in space pouches while half in our backspace, so no could suspicious of us. We have to make do with this as we can't cook food in a tent, I joked as I distributed the meat packets to everyone. Everyone opened their packaged meat and started to eat. I got a little surprised seeing Ashlyn not throwing tantrums seeing food as she's silently eating it, but if one looked her carefully, they will find the look of distaste on her face as she ate it. She is eating this packet food because she knew if she didn't eat it, she will have to sleep hungry, and that is unacceptable to her. She is a glutton. She loves food as much as she loves her life, but she can only compromise in front of the circumstances. Soon everyone finished eating food and waited for the storm to pass. Jill had even started to watch a movie with the monster to forget about the storm outside. Seeing her do that, me, Rhea and her brother started the movie on our holowatches to keep out mind out of storm outside. Grrrr. Tear. As storm center reached our camp, winds had become so strong that it kept shaking nonstop. A tear started to form on the camp surface, and one tear got big enough that sand and wind started to come inside the camp. Seeing this, our heart stopped. If this keeps going on, the storm will tear the tent apart and our circumstances wouldn't be much better than the tent. Rhea quickly patched the tear with cloth and glue she got from God know where, but it's no use as more and more tears keep forming on the tent. Brother, I am sorry. Because of me, you have to die in this camp, Jill said and started crying. No one's going to die, the storm will pass soon, said William as he hugged his sister fiercely. The more and more tear kept forming on the tent and sand and dust kept coming through these small holes. At one point even I believed the tent would collapse and all we would be swept into the storm and die. New tears kept forming as storm rage outside. The tent's condition became so worse that it comes near collapse. I quickly took out a new tent from my backpack and activated it. I don't want to be in an old tent when it's shredded to pieces. Get in, I said as we quickly entered the new tent and sat hugging our monsters. My prediction was right. After some time, we hear the tearing sound from outside, although our old tent is barely maintaining its stability. But we can hear a tearing sound now and then. As time passed on, I felt wind slowing down and tearing of our old camp also stopped after that. We waited for another 2 before wind slowed down enough to be safe to go outside. Still, we waited half before deciding to go outside. We are alive, said William with a heavy sigh. We all nodded at that. We came out alive. Chapter 103, Reaching Destination. We are alive, William shouted with emotion loudly. I can understand his sentiment. The sandstorm was really dangerous and there was a high chance that we could have died. We hadn't been able to hold on. We get out to camp one by one, only to notice we were buried in the sand as large amount camp entering inside through the tear of the old camp. It's going to be hell to get out of this, and I am thinking of different ways to get out when I heard Rhea's voice. Didi, dig the tunnel for us to get out. Rhea asked Didi to open a tunnel to the up. How can I forget? Didi is an earth elemental monster. It is effortless for her to dig the tunnel. Didi started to dig the tunnel as we waited in our old camp for the safety. The tunnel could collapse and we all could get buried in it. It better be safe and waits in the camp till tunnel is fully dug. The tunnel is fully dug, let's get out of here, said Rhea as we were waiting in the camp. Didi must have told her telepathically. There is not saving our original tent as it already was torn in many places, but our second tent is still fine without any scratches, so I can take it back with me. The tunnel dug by Didi is little narrow, so we had to walk on our 4 to get up. When we reached the surface, we greeted with clear starlit sky with the soft light of the moon. I again activated my camp, seeing it is barely midnight when the storm had arrived. The sky had gone dark yet. We didn't do much. I quickly activated the camp and slept as all of us were really tired mentally. Before sleeping, I did ask Ashlyn to keep a watch. She seems fine mentally, not shaken a bit, just little grumpy about food and tight hug that I gave her when a storm is us. Choo choo choo. Good morning to you too, Ashlyn, I said as I have woken by Ashlyn chirp and beak on my face. When I look around, all 3 of them still sleep. The sky had brightened a little, but they're still dark, but it will fully brighten in half an hour. Choo choo. Ashlyn flew on top of the tent and started chirping at me about food. At night I promised her extra food in her plate if she kept a night watch. I did not forget Ashlyn, but first, let me freshen up, I said as I started to freak up. I quietly removed the cooking material and utensil from Rhea and my bag. We had already packed a large amount of corporal-grade monster meat in our backpacks and storages before entering the wasteland, thinking we would not find any monster to hunt here. We were wrong. We did find many monster in wasteland, but their meat could not compare to monsters we hunted in the valley. I took out all the ingredients and utensil and started to cook while reminding Ashlyn to keep an eye out for monsters. It feels good to cook outside with no one to disturb and cool morning breeze on the body. I always felt calm whenever I cook alone and quietly. As I am cooking, I heard the sound behind me, only to know it's Jill. I got quite surprised seeing her. I thought it will be Rhea or William and she will be last to wake up, but I was wrong. Good morning. She greeted, good morning. I greeted back. She came closer to me and watched me cook. You woke up early? I said to make a conversation. What can say, I am an early riser, she said shyly. I can see her mouth is watering. 9 days without good food do that to people. Do you need any help? She asked, standing near me. No need. You should freshen up, food will be ready in 15 minutes. I said. She nodded and left to freshen up while keep stealing glances at the food. In 15 minutes both Rhea and William woke up and food also ready by the time they have done freshen up. Choo-choo. Ashlyn didn't forget to remind me to fill her plate extra when I am serving the food and started to eat with her little before I finished serving all of us. It feels good to eat delicious food after so much roasted meat. Jill said as she ate. Her brother also complimented while eating. We quickly finished eating. After eating, Jill and her brother offered to clean dishes and I didn't reject it. Their chances of surviving is slim, said Rhea as we searched for the tent of the other team. We have already searched for them an hour around the place where they had set up a camp, but we did not see any sign of them. Rhea had even asked Dee Dee to search under the sand too if they buried inside, but the result was futile as she also did not find anything. Agreeing that we will not find a sign of them, we decide to resume our journey toward the Sint forest. We should be able to reach there at 2 days, 3 maximum, William said as he studied the map. We agree with his estimate. We will reach there either tomorrow evening or morning at day after tomorrow. As we journeyed towards Sint format we came across many monsters and one time we even encountered 2 peak level sandworm monsters. I thought were dead, but in that time William showed his true abilities and killed 2 peak corporal level monster within half an hour. He used 3 different types of skills one after another as he killed both monsters single-handedly. I also fought with many monsters and as a result, I was able to reach the 20th cycle of exercise, just 4 more cycles away from creating the 3rd seal. Not only my performance was good, but Jill also got quite a better fighting monster as whenever we occurred a lone specialist monster, William would let Jill to fight it, so she could gain experience in fighting the monsters. Finally, Jill said as she saw the outline of the Sint forest from a tall sand dune. I am also surprised. What surprised me forest but people, even from the distance, I can see their silhouettes. There must be more than 2,000 must be gathered there. Many are patrolling around the camp. We have even spotted the patrol in the sky as some people riding their bird monsters. Seeing such large gathering of people from the distance, we all broke into a run toward the camp as fast as we could in our excitement. Chapter 10 for the camp. The patrol didn't stop as we were running toward the camp like crazy. As we come closer to them, I got the better look at it. My initial estimate of 2,000 people, but I was wrong. There are about 4,000 people here. Thousands of tents and neat information be seen and around the camp is people parroting heavily. It is even rough fence and sentry lower of wood could be seen around the camp. Whoever is in charge had done a good job in maintaining a camp. One barely spot any mistake in the arrangement. There is a large gate at the entrance of the tower and around it 2 big sentry tower. As we enter the gate of the camp, no one stopped us, but after walking a few steps inside we notice there are a few youths sitting on the roughly made wooden desk and asking information to those who are coming in from the camp gate. We also walk in front of the empty desk which is administered by the girl as same as Rhea age and also in corporal grade. Are you 2 from Thunder God's Arena? She asked smilingly to Jill and William, completely ignoring us. Yes, we are. Jill and William answered in unison. Please state your names please, she said in a respectful tone. William Harris and Jill Harris, William replied. Hearing their names the girl looked at their holowatch for a while. Great. Your names are here. She said and shouted Tim, loudly, soon a boy of my age come running over. Take them to Thunder God's Arena's camp, she said to the boy. Please, said the boy motioning his hands. Our friends? Jill said motioning towards us. I am sorry, they can't come with you, your area restricted to organizations member only. If they are a member or any organization or government they can go with you, and if they are not, they have to put their camp in common area. These are the rules of the camp, she said to Jill with a smile. In nearly 3 days of travel, we nearly forget that they are from a big organization, but now the girl brought us back to reality. In here or in the union, those from the government or organizations get many privileges, from a discount in shopping to slashed cab rates. That is why many people train hard to get into the organization. It's okay, I said with a smile. I understand the difference between us, and so Jill, after giving a final apologetic look, both of them followed Tim. Your name and name of the affiliate organization if you are a member, she said in a stern voice. Her voice is completely different from that of before, sugary voice with a sweet smile. We stated our names. She noted it into her holowatch. Ting. A request with a file also came in my holowatch, and I accepted it and received the file. I've sent you all the information you need to know the camp and exit, and there is also a document about your designation. You will understand it after reading it, she said, and given us the direction of the place where Free Adventurer had set up camp. As I read the file, I've come to know that nearly 75% of camp area occupied by adventurers, while the rest is reserved for the members of various organizations, and that area forbidden for those who are not members or organizations. We quickly reached the place where we setting a camp, and since there is no danger here, we decided to set up our own tent for privacy. I wanted to read further, but I've fallen asleep as laid my head in the pillow. In the past 2 weeks since I've entered this reel, I've never slept so relaxedly that I am today. Even in the cave that I found Rhea in, I haven't gotten so relaxed sleep that I got today, because of subconsciously I know I am not safe, but here, amidst thousands of people, I know I am completely safe. Even if a monster horde attacked, the 4,000 people are enough to deal with. When I woke up, it's already evening and sky had darkened, but camp is completely bright in the light magic stones. After reading the whole document the girl had given, I got at camp. The outside is full of activities as people sat in groups and were talking. As I walked randomly, I've heard many conversations. Earlier, after waking up and firstly read the document, I was shocked reading its content and have to commend that to camp leaders. This is not the camp, but as a small town, there is a special area which is reserved market, where there are some restaurants and small shops but the payment method is a little different as credits don't work here. I have heard many conversations while walking toward the market. It turned out, the exit of the realm is at the center of the Sind forest. The document had mentioned that exist in the forest but did not mention in the center of the forest. I've also heard that many elites of organization, those at the peak level of corporal grade, had gone out and entered from this door and brought back many necessities from Westblood. Many normal peaks level corporal grade adventurers had entered the forest but come back with grievous injuries, and some of them met their end in the process. The monsters in the forest are really ferocious compared to the other monster found in this realm. Chapter 105 The Camp 2. I soon reached the so-called market area and got quite surprised by what I saw. There are various shops selling many services such as restaurant, potion shops, and of course peddlers who were trying to exchange things that they found in this realm. Looking at the market seems to like what I heard is true, that many elites of organizational exited the realm and brought back many things from Westblood such as potions, weapons, etc. In the documents given to us by the clerk, it is advised that one to have at least 100 mana potions and 20 healing potions. It is said that way to the exit is very dangerous, wrought with dangers, and it will take us nearly 9 days to reach it. It is advised to get a large number of potions. The only thing I am not surprised is rates. They are 3 times that are normal. They are making fortune here, that bastarda from organizations. They have brought thousands and thousands of potions bottle from Westblood, and now they are selling them at 3 times a normal rate. And that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is that there are no credits in this realm and one had to barter with the thing he has. Most of the people have monsters' cores and the things they had found in this realm. So, those bastards making of nearly 3.5 to 4 times profit in each bottle of potion, and no one can say anything about it. This is also the reason many peak-level normal adventurers tried to get to the exit and bring back a large number of potions so they could make a buck, but obviously why the forest is very dangerous and they hadn't been very successful. Choo-choo. Ashlyn comes out of me and sat on my shoulder. She had been sleeping till now and only had just woken up. I tried to wake her up but she didn't respond, so I let her sleep. Standing on my shoulder, Her eyes started to wander around. She must be feeling hungry as it is evening right now, her dinner time. I thought she would immediately ask for food seeing the makeshift restaurants, but she kept looking around as I wander in the market. I have only 5 mana potion bottles, 2 healing potion bottles while 1 vitality potion bottle left. In my journey toward the camp, I had drunk tens of potions bottles that I had very few in my possessions. I am not hurried to buy them. I first decided to browse the whole market, checking prices on every stall before buying them. Choo choo choo. Suddenly Ashlyn started to chirp loudly and waved her wing frantically toward the west direction. She is saying that she smelled something very tasty toward the left direction. She wants to eat it. I first wanted to reject it, seeing I am spoiling her enough, but seeing she furtively waving her wing and saying she wants that. Seeing she is waving her wing furiously at the west, I decided to follow it. Whatever that thing Ashlyn sensed must be really tasty, seeing she is very excited about it, but when I saw that thing Ashlyn wanted, I left dumbstruck. It is herb, a very ugly herb. It looks shriveled like old person's skin, and it doesn't look like any herb I've seen or read. Are you sure that the thing you want? I asked her again. She again nodded furiously. How much it is? I asked a chubby boy who has the same level as William, mid-level corporal grade. He had more than hundreds of herbs in front of me and his backpack seemed to have more. The look had got a haul in this realm. Give me whatever you have out of 5,000 credit. He said with a serious face. 5,000 credit. 5,000 credit for that shriveled herb. He must think me mad to pay such price. I'll give you 1,000 credits worth thing. I said in bargaining tone. No, 5,000 credits, take it or leave it. The herbs I found in the center of the forest are all expensive. I am selling this at 5,000 because I wasn't able to identify it, he said. He looked very adamant. I don't think he will change its price, and seeing saliva dripping from Ashlyn's mouth, if I don't buy this ugly-looking herb then she will not let me rest in calm. I'll take it, I said with a sigh and handed him an initial level specialist grade monster core. I gave that palm-sized shriveled herb to Ashlyn. She started to eat in a frenzy. Her face and emotion seemed like she was eating a delicacy, not the shriveled thing. Within a minute she finished it eating completely and again started looking around excitedly. I roamed with Ashlyn quite a while before selecting a restaurant for eating. The prices here are quite good, only double of that original, and boy cooking food also looked quite experience. You're full, right? I asked Ashlyn jokingly as we waited for our dinner to arrive. She had just eaten the herb half size of her. If it was any normal monster they would have already full, but not Ashlyn. Choo 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 choo. She chirped at me annoying, saying she is still hungry and will eat a normal size meal. Where do you put all that? I said in exasperation, but this time she didn't reply to me as she arrogantly stood on the table waiting for the meal. It's good, I exclaimed as I took the first bite of the meal. It's at the same level as that I ate in the West Blood. Soon after eating, I went to the potion shop for buying potions. Of all the shops I've gone, this one is the cheapest one. I brought 100 mana potions, 30 healing potions, 10 anti-poison potions, and 50 vitality potions. The reason I brought so many vitality potions because Rhea told that most part of seals of supreme combat exercise made of vitality. If I drank vitality potion during the creation of a seal, it will take very less mana from me and seal would also form early. Chapter 106 Miracle Fruit of Rebirth. I. Choo choo choo. After buying a few miscellaneous things, I was walking toward the exit of the market when Ashlyn started to chirping again frantically. She waved her wings again and again, saying me to walk toward it. Signing, I decided to follow her directions. I just hope if this time she picks up a herb, it would be better than the previous ugly shriveled-looking herb that picked. Soon we come to Girl Peddler, who had put up some ores and herbs messily on the table and is watching a movie on Holowatch without care for the world. She is not keeping watch on her things, but no one would think of stealing from her. She is at a peak level of corporal grade, a top-level powerhouse in this space realm. Are you sure this is the thing you want? I asked with uncertainty. The thing she wants is normal-sized cherry. One would think, what's wrong with the cherry? The cherry is poison green color. Whoever looked at it would definitely think it's poisonous. I asked her 3 times before making sure this is the thing she wants. I don't want her to poison by eating some poisonous thing. Seeing she is very sure about this cherry, I've decided to buy her for it. Excuse me, how much is it? I asked, motioning towards the cherry. She moved her gaze from her movie and looked toward cherry and pointing. Give me something of 10,000 credit value, don't try to negotiate it, I will not change the price, she said in fixed tone. Why my luck is so bad. That fatty also doesn't want to negotiate, but at least he gave me a reason for the high price, but this girl didn't even spare time for that and went back to her movie. I put 2 specialist grade monster cores on the table and carefully picked the poison green berry and walked away. Here, take it? I said, giving Ashlyn a cherry, but I already removed anti-poison potion from a pocket in case of any accidents. Chew chew chew. She shook her tiny little head and said, it is for me. I got little startled hearing that, as this little glutton barely left anything for me. Do you want to kill me or something? I said as she asked me ate the berry. She looked so angry at that I thought she would spit fire from her tiny beak. I promised I will never make fun of you, I said, waving my hands up. She just snorted at my fake apology. Chew chew chew, she chirped again and said that she smelled that this cherry will be good for me. Okay. I'll eat in the tent, I said as she piercingly looked at me. Her action clearly showed that she wanted me to eat this cherry. Seeing nothing much interesting in the market, I walked back to the tent with Ashlyn. I slowly walked back to the camp, enjoying the starry night while listening to the conversation or a group of people on the street. There are many interesting things that I've heard, such as, one group friends making fun of their 2 red faces friends who they caught having sex in the tent. I opened the flap of my tent and went inside. Seeing there is not much to do, I took the cherry from my pocket that Ashlyn asked me to buy earlier. This cherry is poison green and looked really poisonous. If not for Ashlyn's confirmation, I wouldn't dream to it. You are definitely sure about this cherry, right? I asked Ashlyn one last time before eating it. Chew. She affirmed in annoyance, seeing I am asking her time to time. Still, as a safety measure, I have anti-poison potion in my other hand. Taking a deep breath, I popped that poison green cherry in my mouth and bite it with closing my tightly, to prepare myself for the coming bitter taste. It's quite sweet, I exclaimed. It tasted delicious. I thought it would be bitter, but it is quite sweet with little strangeness in it. The sweet juice it went down my throat as waited for its effect. I didn't lose me vigilance toward it after tasting it being delicious. It's good or it's bad, I am ready for both. Few minutes passed by when I felt slight heat around my body. It didn't feed, but instead, it felt very relaxing. My body started to sweat a little as laid on the bed, but soon sweat started to pour all over my body that I have to lose my cloth quickly. I checked my body, sensing it's just relaxing heat and sweat. I let it be. As time passed, I started to sweat more in this process. I sense the minute change that is happening in my body. I sense that my body is healing. Whatever internal and external injuries I had on me are starting to heal. Not only that, the extremely faint scars left behind by injury and wouldn't go away even after drinking potions are starting to fade at a visible rate. The only problem is sweat. I am sweating like crazy and all the sweat is caking on my skin. It feels really comfortable and creepy, but it would stop. Time passes on when the sweat my skin also started to feel off. I got quite a scare seeing this, but I relaxed knowing that only old skin is peeling and the new skin which replaced is radiant and baby soft. Miracle fruit! I shouted with a low voice, 2 miracle fruits in 10 days. I looked at Ashlyn with horror and excitement. Horror because if other people even got the wind of it that she can sense the miracle, both will not able to live in calm, especially me. Some people even kill me to get Ashlyn, even knowing it's nearly impossible to bond with the once-bound monster. And I am excited because if Ashlyn keeps finding miracle fruit, there may chance of us becoming a high-level powerhouse. I am sweating for half an hour, but my sweating still hadn't stopped. There is even small puddle of sweat at the base of my bed. I hadn't moved since I ate the fruit except for moving my hands to clear wet dead skin off my face. I first thought it was a healing type miracle fruit, but sensing changes that keep going in my body, this fruit much more than healing type miracle fruit. Chapter 107 Miracle Fruit of Rebirth 2. I started to feel little thirsty as time passed on. So much sweat coming from my body that feeling thirsty is normal. I quickly took the water bottle from my discarded pants storage and in few seconds I finished the bottle whole. I quickly removed a few more bottles of water for an emergency. I don't know how much longer the sweating will last, but having few bottled water near me is necessary. My foresight was accurate. As more time passed, I started to feel thirsty, have to drink a bottle of water. My tent has started to smell bad as time passed. It smells so bad that I am having a hard time holding back my vomit. The sweat mixed with dead skin is definitely a good formula for vomit-inducing smell. It is so bad that Ashlyn has refused to stay in or integrate inside me. She flew outside the tent after asking me to open tent's flap for her to go outside. I can sense that she had not gone far as she is currently flying around the tent. Seeing this sweating is not going to stop soon, I started to read the Book of Totems. I haven't had a chance to read this book ever since I entered this realm. First, when I started reading it, I didn't understand anything about what written here, but as time passed, I started to understand little by little after continuous research. The more I read, the more amazed I become, and the most amazing part is the runes. It is runes that construct a refinement engine and also the runes that design the totems. It is said in the book that runes are the manifestation of world's law, and the high-level weapons also need the rules to construct. Although the runes in the book I am reading is very low grade, not worth mentioning in front of those high-grade ones, it is still amazing to know about them. Time passed on between my reading book and drinking water, but sweating did not stop. Of the 13 water bottles I already had drunk the 11, and if sweating didn't stop soon, I will have to go outside for the water. As I am busy reading, extreme weakness had descended on my body suddenly that I fell from my bed, directly into the disgusting puddle of sweat that formed on the floor. I tried to use my hand as leverage to get up, but I didn't seem to have the energy to lift a finger, much fewer fingers. Seeing this, I am about to shout for help when I felt my consciousness loosening and I am going unconscious. When I woke up, I found myself covered gray hard substance. As I started to move the body, the gray hard substance fell from my body. Thud. I fell back on the floor when I started to get up. I am feeling foreign in my body, feel like my soul had entered some else's body. I am feeling completely unfamiliar with. I slowly walk around the camp, getting used to change that happens in my body, but something in the tent had completely forced me out. My tent smelled terrible, so terrible that even breathing is hard in it. If getting used to the unfamiliar change in my body, I would have bolted out at first moment after getting up. Without thinking much, I quickly put some clothes on my body and get out of a tent. It probably late midnight, as except for patrol everybody seems to be sleeping. The patrol didn't stop. Seeing I am going toward the bath, only going out camp at night is restricted. They have made a bath around underground, the small underground source of water. I am quite surprised to find they are big as well as clean, just their making is a little rough. Taking health dose of body wash, I scrub each and every part of the body, removing all the smell I had. I even burned away the clothes in wearing after bathing. Choo choo. Ashlyn also comes out of the pond after taking a dip and shook off all the water from fur with an intense shake. Instead of cleaning the tent, I simply deactivated it, put it back in my storage. I will clean when I have time. I removed another tent from my storage and activated it. This tent may not better as my previous tent, at least it is not filled with filth and smell. I stood silently in the center of the tent, checking each and every part of my inside and outside of the body. The more I looked, the more shocked I become. I am so shocked that I hadn't come to myself for a while. My body hadn't just healed, it had experienced a complete rebirth. My talent had advanced, which is quite impossible after you inherited the talent from your first monster. The talent you inherited from your first monster is your talent. It only advances only when your monster's talent advanced, which is very hard as every monster is born with a talent that near impossible to advance their whole life. Only with the aid of powerful bloodline/strain did they able to make up for talent. Only miracle fruit can do the miracle of changing one's talent. My movement had become quite free and relaxed, and whenever I summon my ability, it comes faster than normal. I even used my skills and quite surprised to find that it took me 25% less time to activate it. The 25% may seem less, but it is very big. In battle the life and death one can change due to microseconds difference. Not only that, I now have wait 3 fewer minutes to use the skill again. Seeing so many changes in the body, I decided to do those weird postures of Nightblade style. By the time I finished, my body has become sweaty again, but this time there is a big smile plastered in my place. The featured, which used to take me near 3 hours to complete, now complete in 2 hours, and I did not feel tired as I used to when I finished doing this weird postures. The strain I used to feel doing this postures are completely gone as my muscle become flexible. I am sure that I can definitely perform those combat moves in a battle that I hesitated to do before. My estimate is that my combat power had increased by 15% to 20%, and that is super huge. My body had experienced a complete rebirth eating this miracle fruit, so I'll call this fruit Miracle Fruit of Rebirth. Michael didn't know that the name he had given the miracle fruit is its real name, and he only understood the less than half changes in the body, while another half he is clueless about. In the future, when he completely understood the other changes brought to his body by Miracle Fruit of Rebirth, that time he will be really shocked to the core. Chapter 108. Rachel I had to bath one more time to get the sweat off that I shed from the practice of those weird poses of Nightblade style. It's already 7 a.m., 2 hours later I have to go to the battle formation practice. The camp leaders had decided to divide the whole camp into 8 groups of about 500 people. The 8 teams will separately walk toward the exit of this realm. The document said that camp leaders had already scouted the way to the exit and we just have to follow it with our leader. The Sind Forest is very dangerous compared to the rest of this realm, and there is something weird about it. Many peak-level corporal grade evolvers had gone inside for the exit, but they all return with broken bones and bleeding wounds, and some of them weren't able to return alive. I and Ashlyn walked toward the market for the breakfast and also strolled to see if anything catch our eyes. I really hope we find another miracle fruit, although it will be quite impossible, but worth a try. After roaming the market for a half an hour, nothing caught Ashlyn's eyes. Our luck is extremely good to find the 2 miracle fruit, but it is near impossible to find another one. Seeing nothing caught Ashlyn's eyes, I walked toward the restaurant which is selling the breakfast. We both ate breakfast like lunch and went back to our tent. There is still an hour before the time of the gathering. I can relax for a few minutes before going towards it. What I wish to do most is now do fight. I really want to see at what extent did my abilities advanced, but I can't do right now as is prohibited to go out of camp, especially to the specialist grade evolvers. Thinking it is time, I get out of the tent with Ashlyn. Rhea looked to be in her tent, but I did not disturb her. As I reached the training place, I found there are already some 200 to 300 people are there, and every new one coming by the minute. Rhea had also come. She is with girls same age as her, and the way they were talking, they seemed to be quite a good friend. She didn't notice me as I am the boundary of training ground hidden by the tree. I was right about her finding a friend in camp, and that is why she was never in her camp. Time passed on, and soon a group of 50-something people had entered training ground. Looking at their clothes, arrogance, and power, they seemed to a group of people from a various organization with 3 people at the lead. Of the 3 people, a tall hot girl with black hair seems to the leader. Soon the 50-something group had dissolved in rest of the crowd, leaving only 3 people in the front. I am quite surprised to find Jill and her brother William also in that group. Please for the group according to your level separately, from the initial level of specialist grade to peak level of corporal grade, and those are below specialist grade also form a group. She ordered in a sharp voice. All the people scramble to form the group of the respective level as I also walk towards where our sense group of the initial level of specialist grade evolvers are gathering. Michael! Jill shouted and ran toward me as I approached the group. As I am at the same level, so obviously we have to stand in the same group. Jill! I said as she comes closer to me. She stared without saying anything. Michael, you look little different than yesterday. Your skin looked so bright and glowing? She asked, looking me carefully. I've expected this question and prepared a plausible answer for it. Miracle Fruit of Rebirth had not only changed me internally, and it also changed me externally. All the minute scars, blemishes that I had on my body had completely vanished, leaving glowing, unblemished baby soft skin behind. Oh. It's all due to Radiance Potion I drank accidentally last night. I said Radiance Potion is quite a popular potion which makes skin glowing and radiant. It is very popular amongst both men and very expensive. Its single bottle cost 100,000 credit and that was the price lowest grade radiant potion. Well, that explains all the glow on your skin. She said. Do you why they asked us to come here? I asked. I have a basic idea but I still decided to ask her. As an insider she may know something important. Oh, Sister Rachel will be teaching us simple battle formation and team coordination to better deal with monsters we will encounter on the way to exit. Soon the group is formed and all of us waited for her next instructions. Hello, I Rachel, leader of this group. Today I am going to instruct you simple battle formation and team coordination, so all of could survive till we reach the exit, she said. I hope you practice diligently and wholehearted without created obstruction for others. She continued. The way toward the exit is right with dangers. The monster is more dangerous and ferocious than any monster you've fought, believe me, because I've fought many of them in the way exit. She said with a serious voice. Seems like she one of the people who had gone to exit and come back. Soon she started to instruct us on the forming a group. One group contains 6 people of specialist grade. In group 3 are initial level, 2 are mid-level and 1 is peak-level specialist grade evolvers. Every 2 group of specialist grade revolvers are in command of initial level corporal level evolvers. Mid-level corporal grade and peak-level corporal grade will roam the whole battlefield, killing the monsters that groups can't handle. The whole arrangement is quite free without much restriction. In a given range of your group you can fight the monster separately and if your teammates need your help you can also help him. If any corporal monster comes by accident it will be handled by your initial level corporal grade group leader and if can't handle it or there are more monster than he can handle then the mid-level and peak-level corporal grade evolvers that roam the field will handle it. The last remaining are those below specialist grade, there are some 20-25 of them. Rachel Clear told them in direct words that they baggage and there is an only job is find a safe place when battling start and pick a monster carcass that will be used for either lunch or dinner. Chapter 109 Rachel 2. We kept practicing the formation. It's less practice and more like memorization as people can't learn battle formation in one day, no matter how much they try. So, Rachel's only option is to teach us what to do when that happens. We practiced fighting solo, in teams, helping our teammates when the monster is powerful and how to save the life of the self and our teammates' life when the corporal level monster shows up and there is no. She taught many tricks and technique of teamwork and coordination that will really help in a battle against monsters. As we were practicing many tricks and technique, Rachel started to give us information about the forest that really shocked me. She said that this forest is infected with some kind of foreign energy that made monster inside this forest stronger and ferocious. That they will attack outsiders at the site and we will encounter hordes of monsters after we enter the core of the forest. She said that 4 days will be light as one group had more than 500 people, some of won't get chance to fight 4 days but when we reach the core region, things will be completely different. We will get attacked at day and night without pause but she did say that they have brought powerful protection artifact from the West Blood, which will able to protect us from the monster at night. She didn't mention many details about the artifact but I can see the relieved expression from everyone's face. This practice going to run for a whole day and it is now the only morning. Of all people, the most wretched are those at the private grade. Ria asks them to run in between our practice with heavy loads on their back. There is only a job is to find the safest place amidst battle and pick the best monster carcasses for lunch and dinner. It only 2 hours since the fight had started but those private level evolvers had drenched with sweat from head to toe but all of them doing what Rachel told them without complaint. They are the best of best private grade evolvers, those who were weak had already perished in this harsh realm. Those at private grade are most wretched and those who are at mid-level and peak-level corporal grade are most carefree. They are just running around in between practice field, training for rescue. Whenever mid-level and peak-level corporal monster will appear on the battlefield, it will be their responsibility to fight it. I feel quite bored doing repetitive action for thousands of times but have to do for survival. Although the practice is very boring, I found that it is becoming very helpful to me. After eating miracle fruit of rebirth, many changes had occurred in my body that I barely utilized without practice and experience. This repetitive practice helped me understand my body's new strength and flexibility. With the help of this training, I've become completely familiar with it, and my battle power, as well as control over my body, had also been increased. Soon the afternoon came and we still kept practicing without stopping. Feeling little mercy on the private grade evolvers, Rachel ordered them to take rest for an hour, but they're no great for us as we continue to keep practicing. Practicing in the afternoon sun is very depressing. Campin being the boundary of wasteland feels very hot in the afternoon. The flow of sweat could be seen on the body of all youths could be seen, and this time no one is for break, not because of respect for Rachel but because of shame. Just a 10 minutes, a boy asked for 10 minutes of rest, and all of us expected to see Rachel rebuke him, but instead doing that Rachel took out the tent from her storage and activated and asked that boy, "Please your highness, take rest in your humble abode." Hearing this, the boy had to put his head down in shame, and no one asks for rest since then. As time passes on, the repetitive actions became quite exhaustive both physically and mentally. One thing that I liked about Rachel that she treats everyone equal and did not show any favor for organization people. Everyone had to work hard as others without distinction and complain. "Everyone stop. You all have worked very hard today, you should feel proud," she said, standing on the boulder at the edge of the camp. "We will leave camp tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp, assemble here half an hour before if possible. You all free to go, and please remember to buy all the necessary things that written in the document provided by the camp, those things will save your life," she said, and left with two friends. "I am really tired," said Jill as she sat on the small rock, her monster also come out of her and started to lick her. I sighed in exasperation seeing this. Ashlyn never much an affection shower, she is always arrogant and aloof. I also sit beside Jill, resting my tired body. "Do you know any inside information about the forest?" I asked shamelessly. "No," she said, shaking her head. I am little disappointed in hearing that. I thought she would have some inside information. "All I know what Sister Rachel told us today, but one of my brother's friend has come out of the portal as a part rescue team. He said that monster inside is very dangerous. Especially those at the core region of the forest where exit portal is located. He said the more preparation you have, the better," she said. "It looked like I have to spend more to buy some potions and other things that I will need." "Do you know anything about protection artifact they brought from Westblood?" I asked. I didn't have much hope that she will answer, as these things tended to the secret of the organization. "Oh, that artifact. It's just grade 2 ward type artifact, Sister Rachel just overly mystifying it," she said, "as it is common sword artifact." Seeing the question on my face, she decided to explain it further. "It's just normal grade 2 ward type artifact that we used when a large party of hundreds or more goes off for training. It is 12-part artifact which has 12 staff-like parts. When we placed them around the camp, it will produce an energy force field that no monster than lieutenant grade broke inside it. The only bad thing about them that they used a lot of monster cores to run," she said. Now that I understood what she meant, but I still did not understand why she calling such great artifact a common artifact. Any member of the organization who has A or B level access can get from the organization for free, and for normal people like you. If you have enough connection, you can buy it from the market or paying little extra from artifact store," she explained. "She is not as naive as she looks. If you need such artifact in the future, you give me a call, I'll buy it for you," she offered. "Thank you," I said. Chapter 110 Undescended. Train. I am woken up by my alarm. I stop the buzzing and get up. I feel quite refreshed as I woke up. Yesterday, after talking to Jill, I went market to eat and slept right after coming back. I didn't even read, which I do daily for 2 hours. I wanted to get long comfortable sleep before I walk into the forest with rest. After dinner yesterday, I roamed a market for a while with Ashlyn to see if something could catch her eyes, but no such luck. There is still little dark outside as I quickly went for the bath before it became crowded and I won't be able to find a spot for a bath. I want to feel refreshed and clean for a last time before I enter the forest with the group. I don't think I will get a chance to take a proper bath for more than a week. Back into my camp, I took a pot in my hat and started to heat it. I had brought a meal package yesterday for today, since yesterday midnight all the shop has been closed. It was a good idea, I didn't have to cook and get to eat the tasty food in the morning. I laid on the tent floor as there is still an hour before time to assemble on the training field. It feels quite nice to just lay on the bed, swimming in the river of thoughts and memories. It's been 2 weeks since I entered this realm. My parents had to be worried sick about me. I had promised to call them once a week very least, but now, it'd been 2 weeks. I just hope they hadn't gone to the Red Glow City to search for me. That's the city I told my parents I was in. Soon, only half an hour remaining to 7:30, I got up and removed brush from my backpack. Ever since I entered this realm, I hardly brushed Ashlyn feathers. Choo-choo. Ashlyn comes out of me seeing a brush in my hand. I picked her in my hand and started to brush her feathers. Ashlyn is a little clean freak, opposite to other monsters who love to roll on the dirt and play in the mud. Ashlyn, on the other hand, she prefers her silver feather sparkling. Whenever she saw water, she would always take a small dip, especially when she dirted herself while eating. Chew. She let out a chirp of contentment as I moved the brush around her stomach. While brushing her, I fell into deep thoughts. The power of Ashlyn is very low. In West Blood she was able to beat the monster's same level as her, but here she is having a problem beating the normal monster save level as her. To elite monsters, she barely able to do something. It is not that she has low training. Every day she flew away and practiced throwing swirling and concentrated balls of fire. The fault is that her species, which is one of the lowest grade monsters in the world. Gray Spark Sparrow, whom she mutated from, is a very weak monster. They are more like pets which don't have much power. Due to being mutated, she is probably double stronger than Gray Spark Sparrow of the same level. I've searched for high and low on the web and even asked Jim if there is some potion which can increase his battle power. He said there is some potion, but they are above his reach, even above the reach of anybody in the Republic. He said even if found such potion, they will only able to advance Ashlyn's power by only 10%. He said that I should let Ashlyn eat the small amount monster's core daily, especially fire elemental, that may help in making Ashlyn's fire ability stronger. As I said, the main problem is Ashlyn's species, this one of secret knowledge that Jim shared with me. He said that almost all the monsters in the world are descended from some high-level monsters. There is always some dormant bloodline/strain in their body, and some time that strain get activated. We called it the awakening of strain or bloodline. These monsters are known as descendant monsters, and 99.999% monster fall into this category, but there is 0.001% monster that didn't fit into this category. They are known as undescended monsters. These undescended monster species have no higher level strain on their bodies as they are born with their current since the dawn of time. Most of these undescended monster species had gone extinct, but some of them survived, and Gray Spark Sparrow is one of them. The reason that Gray Spark Sparrow had survived the extinction are 2 reasons. First is their cowardly nature, and second is their reproductive ability. Because their terrifying reproductive ability, Gray Spark Sparrows are one of the most commonly found monsters in the world. Although not having a higher strain or weak ability doesn't make that they can't progress, there is always a way. Nature always leaves a way for all species advancement, and it's only up to us to find that. And I decided to find that way, not only for me and for Ashlyn as well. No matter how many new monsters I bond with in the near future, no monster will replace the special feeling I had for her, no matter how powerful that monster is. Well, it's enough for today, I said as I put away the brush and Ashlyn flew away from my hand. Seeing only 10 minutes are left, I pack all the remaining things in my backpack and deactivate the tent before putting it back into my backpack. When packing my tent and about to leave, I spotted Rhea talking to 2 girls and 1 boy. She gave a nod and smile as our eyes met. Giving her a small smile, I walked towards the training field with Ashlyn on my shoulder. Chapter 111 Into the Sind Fours. When I reached the training field, there were already 100-some people there, and more are coming by the minute. I just sit on the small rock by the tree waiting for all people to appear. As time ticks by, more people started coming. By the time ticks 7:30, nearly 400 people waited by the training ground. This time organization youth didn't come together, they come with alone and groups. Jill and her brother, Rachel with her two friends also arrived, and seeing me, Jill come to me while her brother talking smiling to Rachel's friend. When there are only 10 minutes to 8, almost all the people had arrived and there is barely anyone seen coming. Everyone had arrived, it is time to leave the camp, said Rachel while standing on the rock. I will still repeat what I said yesterday, the format is really dangerous, don't go outside the visible range of your teammates, the monster they are very dangerous, you will be dead before you can think, she said, and ordered the whole camp follow behind her. We quickly formed into rough teams as we practiced yesterday. We walked toward the back exit which is connected to the Sind forest. We had to wait for a little as other groups were also leaving. Within an hour this camp will become a ghost town and those of wasn't able to reach camp in a given time will be left behind. But no worries, the camp leader left a chance for them. There are a large board placed around the camp, saying that if they can wait and survive for a month, they will be rescued. This realm's limit might be at the only corporal level, but it is still a gold mine in the eyes of the organization, they will never leave it alone. It's just that, its stable entrance and exit is in the core region of Sind Forest, which are extremely unsuitable for normal members. Only elite peak corporal members could survive Sind Forest solo, but they will surely make arrangements such their normal member could also train in this realm. It will be another jewel in their hand, for resources like ores, herbs, and training elite members. Because of these resources of training, free adventurers could never compare to even a normal member of the organization, much less elite ones. Everybody is chatting happily, but all them stopped as woods of Sind Forest come into view. All us gripped our weapons tightly to fight off any attack that comes in our way. While Rachel said that 3 days will be lightest and these will be minimum danger seeing our quantity, but still everyone's heart gripped seeing the forest. We silently entered the woods but no monster attack came. As we walk inside, I even thought if any monster will attack or not. Growl. Bang bang bang. Monster growl come out woods and attacks, but before it could go near perforation, it got bombarded by tens of attack. Poor monster. Everyone's nerves were quite tight, even if their neighbor to make a loud sound they would have an attack him unhesitatingly, much less the monster who attacks with a large growl. Without much care, that poor monster bombarded by tens of attacks, some even used skills. No matter how powerful the monster was, it was going to die after receiving so much attack at once. I got little startled sensing the monster at initial level of corporal grade, even at the boundary corporal grade monsters found in this forest. Many people nerves loosen after attacking the monster, and as we walk deeper we attack by monsters every few minutes, but it got dealt by those at the outer layer of the group. We being middle rarely get any change to fight the monster, but watching the fight, I am sure about the one thing though, that monster here is more powerful, dangerous, and crazy compared to the monster in other areas. I let out sigh relief seeing most of the monsters that attacked after the first monster is at specialist grade, only a few are corporal grade. Yesterday when Rachel said this forest is infected with some kind energy that made monsters powerful and crazy, I thought this forest would be gloomy and lifeless, but it is the opposite. It feels bright and shiny, all tall trees oozed vibrant atmosphere. It looked like some paradise land, but if one is sensitive enough he would notice that there is some kind of energy lingering around it. It does not affect humans and their bonded monsters, but those monster who was not bonded started to lose their mind as they spend time inside it. As we went deeper the monster attacks also increased as tens on monster attacking by the minute, but they were killed before they reached the arm distance of the group. 500 people facing 10 to 20 monster every minute, its joke as they were easily killed without much pressure. It will probably tomorrow or day after that, will I get to chance to fight the monster in the forest. Chew. Ashlyn chirping while playing with Jill's little stag. I got very surprised when I saw this first time. When I traveled to the camp with Jill and her brother, Ashlyn didn't get much friendly with Jill's stag, but since morning today, Ashlyn has been quite friendly with little stag of Jill. It's not friendly but more like becoming its boss. She has put Jill's stag in her control by feeding it some unknown herbs she kept bringing from the forest. Jill's first objected Ashlyn feeding her precious monster unknown herbs, but seeing they are harmless she did not say anything. Ashlyn did not listen to me and flew into the forest whenever she caught the smell of something delicious. Sometimes she ate them, sometimes she feeds it to the little stag, and sometimes she gives it to me. I many times asked telepathically if she found any miracle fruit in them, but she shook her head saying no. I share the fruits given to me by Ashlyn with Jill, as most of them are very tasty, while I put herbs in my backpack. The first time she had given me herb, I was about to throw it thinking it useless, but Jill identified it and said it is quite precious. From that moment, whatever Ashlyn brings something, I put them in my backpack. She never used to bring things to me when we first entered this realm, as it was not enough for her to eat it, but ever since we entered this forest she couldn't stop bringing something every hour. The only thing makes me relieved that she didn't go much far and always came back within 10 to 15 minutes. Chapter 112 The Clock Dome. Really delicious, said William as he ate fruit bought by Ashlyn. After seeing his sister eating fruits from distance, his mouth also watered. Not only he, but another member of my team also asked for fruit as they saw both of us eating them. Ashlyn always bringing fruit or herb in her little claws whenever she sets out. Till now, she had brought more than 20 herbs and fruits to me. I have to say, this forest is very enriched in flora and fauna. Both monsters and plants in the forest are in a different league than the rest of the realm. The evening is approaching and we will set a camp in an hour probably. The whole day has passed, but I never got a chance to fight. One time I just threw a fireball in frustration, as I saw the monster coming, but it was killed before my fireball could reach it. Do you think I will get a chance to fight monster tomorrow? Asked Jill to her brother. Don't get excited about the fighting monster. When the 5th day starts, you will have to fight enough monsters that you will not even have time to take a breath, much less eat the fruit, William replied sternly. The monster that is attacking us are normal monsters of the forest. When we reach middle and the core region of the forest, you will see the real powerful monsters that you wish that you wouldn't want to fight. It is best to relax your mind and body now. You will have fight really powerful monster in few days. William said softly as he patted the head of his sister lovingly. She just nodded silently. We are very lucky but also unlucky. While we didn't have to fight it and can enjoy the beautiful scenery of the forest, but it also has a downside. When more monsters arrive and we have to fight, we need time to adjust to nature and power of monster of this forest. All right, enough for today. We will set a camp here. Rachel's voice rang out. Space is quite open and many youths started cutting trees to make more space, which could occupy 500 tents. Rachel and her 2 friends started to remove meter-long staffs from their storage and started placing around the camp. There are 12 such staffs which she placed in perfect circle fashioned around the camp. Some monster are keep attacking, but they are quickly killed by a team of corporal-level evolvers. Rachel has arranged such teams all direction of the camp to fight against such monsters. Inside. Rachel shouted and all of them seemed to know what she meant as they quickly entered inside the boundary of 12 staffs. Rachel quickly did something on her holowatch as 12 staffs started to shine and connected each other with blue light. Soon that blue light shot upward from 12 staffs and formed into a blue dome that encompasses the camp. I watched the whole scene with mouth open. The whole camp is encompassed in a blue force field. It looked really beautiful. The clock dome. Jill said in soft voice, this must be the name of this artifact. Quite weird name but also very suitable. Bang! Bang! Many monsters tried to crash the force field by their bodies and power, but no avail. Except for small ripples, they didn't cause any damage to the blue force field. All the people watching it with their eyes and mouth open, as this is the first time they had seen such artifact. Only those from organizations had normal looks as they had seen this scene many times before. It will able to hold off all night, right? I asked Jill, who besides me, she is cleaning the floor where is going to place her tent. As long as there is no lieutenant level monster attack it and it has sufficient monster cores to power up, it can hold off against all the monsters in this forest. She said as she activated her tent. I also activated my tent beside her. I didn't ask her about where to buy this kind of artifact. She had promised me yesterday that she will help me buy it if I ever want. I will ask when I have enough money and become powerful enough. It is good protection artifact, especially for my parents. Many small towns get destroyed by the horde as my hometown has. If my parents' house is protected by such artifact, it will relieve some of my worries about my parents' safety. For now, I don't think I much money to buy this artifact, as this artifact definitely near 5 million. When I will have that kind of money, I will definitely buy it for my parents. In the tent, I uploaded all the things that Ashlyn brought on the floor. There are both fruits and herbs piled on the floor, mostly herbs as most of the fruits were eaten by us. I quickly separated each herb on separate distance and scanned them with my HoloWatch to know how many herbs match the database that I have in my HoloWatch. The green light had spread from my HoloWatch as it begins to scan the herbs, soon scan finished and data is shown on my watch. Of the 41 herbs, it is only able to identify 9 of it, but all 9 of them turned out to be quite rare herbs, and if sell them in West Blood, I would make quite a money. I would have praised Ashlyn if she were near me, but she is outside flying around the tent. After putting back all the herbs in my backpack, I just laid on the floor studying skill book as there are still near 2 till dinner is ready. Time passed by and 2 hours I freshening up. I knock on the Jill's tent as she said to call her before going to dinner. Come in. Sound of Williams came from inside the tent. Hearing Michael's invitation, I opened the flap and went inside the tent. Wow. I said as I entered their tent is just wow. From the outside, it looks like a normal tent, but inside is completely different. It has a light color interior with beds, chairs, cupboard table, and they looked extremely beautiful. The rough bed, which my smelly is not even worth mentioning in front of it. The tent size is still small, but it does not look crowded with all the things placed there. I have seen many tents on the net and shops, but they are nothing compared in front of this beautiful tent. We are ready, let's go, said Jill, suddenly, and 3 of us quickly get out of the tent. Your tent is really beautiful. I complimented. This one is nothing, you should see our real one, that is something to compliment, said Jill with a laugh. I should really take you to a real shop. After we get out this realm, I'll take to the real shopping center, where you can see the real things. She said. I know, to be a free adventurer, top of coming from a rural town, I don't know many things, all I know comes from the web and people I met. I nodded my thanks towards her. As we were walking, Ashlyn silently come flying and landed on my shoulder. The dinner was nice. Ashlyn and I ate till our stomach is bloated. After talking a few minutes with Jill, I went back to my tent with Ashlyn, whom I'm holding in my hands because she can't due to the load of food she ate. Chapter 113 The Perfect Strike. 2 days passed in flash and were not much different from the first day except for the intensity of monsters increasing. Especially yesterday late afternoon when we were approaching the middle region of the forest, the monster that attacked us was really powerful and I was about to fight it if not corporal level evolver stepping in. Today is our 4th day in the forest and I'm sure from today the real fights would start. I had just woken up and Ashlyn is still sleeping on my chest. Her cute chubby form really looked peaceful when she sleeps, opposite to her arrogant self when she is awake. I softly picked her sleeping form and placed her on the floor beside me and quietly went to freshen up. By the time I've returned, she has woken up and waiting for me to open the flap of the tent, so she could fly away outside. Like every day, I started to read for a while before time to eat and leave. In the past 3 days, Ashlyn had brought many fruit and herbs to me, but I noticed that deeper we went more precious the herbs she brought got. Although she had brought less than the first day because of increasing danger, its rarity made up for it. Knock knock. Michael, it's time. I heard Jill's knock and voice. It must be time to eat. Just a second. I shouted, checked my clothes and face into the mirror before getting out of a tent. We walked in the center of the camp for eating. Many people could be seen holding their plates and eating. Today we'll exiting, said Jill while we were eating. And dangerous, her brother quipped in suddenly, which made Jill little annoyed. Didn't you go searching for your girlfriend? Where is she? She remarked. William's face fell a little hearing this. William had a crush on a girl and wanted to ask for a date, but till now he hadn't been successful, and it didn't help that girl he is trying to date is powerful than him. She is one of the Rachel friends and is the peak corporal grade evolver. Soon we finished eating and went back to camp. In 15 minutes, I packed my camp again and left for the center of camp with Jill and William, as it is time to leave. We found Rachel standing on the makeshift podium waiting for everyone to gather. For past 3 days, we have been in the forest. Some didn't get a chance to fight the monsters, but it will be different, she said in a loud voice when everyone is gathered. Today we will be the entering middle region and the monsters' numbers will increase exponentially. I want you all to be careful, so all us will return home safe and sound, she said and left the podium. The protection team readied their weapon to fight as there are many monsters which are attacking force field. As soon as the force field is down, the special teams made of corporal-grade evolvers. Soon the artifact is deactivated by Rachel and Monster get in loud roar, but before they could do anything, they were killed by corporal-level evolvers in few moments. We resumed our journey after finishing those monster, the journey uneventful as past 3 days, but as we traveled deeper, the attacking monster increased, and the way they are increasing, I think I will get a chance to fight monsters in an hour or two. Ashlyn, I will be quite a busy fighting. If you brought something new, you can directly drop in my back, as I left enough space here. I said to Ashlyn while keeping my backpack enough open so she could drop off anything she wanted. Chew. She chirped understanding. She flew over my backpack and dropped the small her in my paperback perfectly through her talons. Another half an hour passed as our group is slowly traveling while fighting when everybody stopped when they heard the loud noise of running footsteps. Howl, a large howl rang and out, and after that hundreds of smaller howl. A big wolf pack is coming. Soon hundreds on worlds come into our view. The biggest wolves were 7 to 8 meters long while smaller one was 5 or 6 meters. Their body had a metallic gray and every hair on their body feels like it made metal. More and more wolves come and soon their quantity reached near 200. There was the biggest monster group we have ever encountered. The wolves stopped for a moment before they ran toward us with red eyes and loud howl. They are coming toward us, use your full power from the start. William said to both of us as he ran towards the corporal level world. Without choice, there is no preserving our power now, especially for a specialist grade evolvers, who can easily be killed. I started circulating 20th move of Supreme Combat Exercise and ran toward initial level specialist grade monster wolf. This will be my first fight to test my power after eating the fruit of rebirth. I really want to see how powerful I become. Howl, it growled at me and jumped to attack me. Without fearing I also jumped with the help of my boots, and when its claw about half a meter away from me, a blast of fire shot of my waist side changing my momentum. I first time uses this move when fighting against sand scoping, and after that, I practiced this method many times in Wasteland till I got hang of it. It very dangerous but also effective because once you change your direction a little in midair and you will get the perfect opportunity, the monster won't able to do anything to, and as long as you are confident, then you can use this opportunity to make a decisive strike on the monster. Using the momentum of Fire Blast, I flipped in midair and transfer all that momentum into my sword while activating my skill. First tide. Second tide. I activated the power of both tides simultaneously and transfer all the power in my hand towards the sword. The monster saw sword is coming toward its head from the corner of its every but except for moving its neck, it not able to do anything as we both in midair. Ah! I screamed loudly as my sword moved toward its head, and it can't do anything except for moving his head will all the power it had. Grr. As my sword touched its metallic skin on the head, it has little resistance, but when my sword made contact with its head it started to produce resistance. I have to finish it quickly. If we touch the ground, it will be really hard to kill it. Ah! Screaming loudly with all the strength I have in the sword thing I have killed before we fall into the ground, I kept pouring all the power I had, my sword started to pierce its skull. Puck! Thud! My sword finally pierced through the skull into its brain, killing it in one blow, but I didn't have a chance to celebrate as I fell on the ground with a large thud. Chapter 114 Bile Centipedes. Thud. I and the monster's corpse fell on the ground with a large thud. I take a deep breath to reduce the pain in my head. This time I used Refinement Engine, Skill, and Supreme Combat Exercise together. There is hardly a loss to my head and my body became a lot stronger and tenacious after eating Supreme Combat Fruit, but still pain of using 3 is immense. I had reached the 22nd move of Supreme Combat Exercise, 3 moves more and I can create the 3rd seal. It is a good method to increase the moves of Supreme Combat Exercise, but it will not work for long. The pain of Supreme Combat Exercise circulation now approaching the pain of head slitting, and I am sure that after the 3rd seal is created, the pain of Supreme Combat Exercise will dawn on head splitting pain. This method will become useless by then and I will have to return to the same old technique to advance the moves of supreme combat exercise. The fight may look like it had taken minutes but it all happened under 5 seconds. I killed the monster in 5 seconds, I killed in one strike. This initial level monster wolf's combat power greater than any and mid-level specialist monster I've ever fought in this realm despite being at the initial level. This monster can easily kill mid-level scorpion in minutes and can fight with peak-level specialist scorpion in the equal ground. I killed it in one strike. I got up and about to remove my sword from its skull when I felt numerous gazes boring on my back. When I looked back, I saw countless people were looking at me, even Jill who is fighting against the wolf master also looking at me with awestruck expression. "Michael, that move was so cool," she said while fighting with the monster. "I want to learn that move, you should teach me, right?" she asked as dodged the claw of wolf monster. It will be very hard for her, changing the direction of her body in midair. I only able to do it because of my fire ability but I still nodded to her excited face. I quickly took out the monster core from the monster's body. I would have taken shiny metallic fur but there is not much space in my backpack. I had already decided that I will only take those fur which has a very high value as there is no point in filling your backpack with useless junk only to feel weighted. All people fought with all their strength because time is limited and there is someone to take a charge if they failed to kill the monster. As the fight goes on, I just keep an eye on Jill, seeing there is nothing for me to do. Fighting with the monster wolf, I've come to understand the full abilities of my body and currently, I can say that I am currently equal in physical strength with Jill. Jill had gotten quite an experience in fighting the monster, especially when we were crossing the desert. Her brother left no chance. Whenever a specialist grade monster appears he would always let Jill fight it. The fight went on for half an hour before all the monster is killed and the group started walking again. "How do you feel?" I asked Jill. This was the first time she had finished the fight within half an hour and she even asked her stag monster not to help as she wanted to kill the monster herself. "Very good, I had first time killed the monster same level as me this quickly," she said. An hour passed. In this time another group of the monster attack having same quantities having wolf monsters but we didn't have time to fight as took a dip on them. Chew. Ashlyn again brought something again. She didn't care we are fighting or not, as long as there is no flying monster in the sky will fly around without a care. It is some type of green herb. She didn't put in my backpack this time but given to Jill's little deer. Seeing this become excited and started to run around Ashlyn but she without care flew away again. This scene had become very common, only sometimes did Ashlyn play with stag monster while other times she treats as lucky. It saddened for a while for Ashlyn not playing with it but then she started to take a bite of that herb and ate with pleasure. As we were traveling some people were fighting some stray monsters when we hear vibration below our feet. "Be careful, monsters coming from below," shouted Rachel loudly and we all became extra careful as no monster is normal in this forest. Guh. Gug. Guh. 10's large monster come out the ground, one boy leg nearly eaten by the monster but I is saved by the nearby corporal level evolver. "Ew, centipede monsters!" shouted Jill loudly seeing the monsters coming out from underground. They really looked ugly as all of their bodies are vomit green, one would get a feeling of vomit just looking at them. I had to be careful of their poison. Normally centipede's poison is harmless but it hurts like hell. Guh. 2 initial specialist grade come out ground not far from and suddenly lunged toward us. "Jill, concentrate," I shouted as I prepare to engage these monster. One coming toward us are around 7 meters in length and have high speed due to their numerous legs. Clang, centipede and I clashed. I have too few steps back to excess force. No matter how much man tries, a man can never be strong as a monster physically. Clank clank clank. It defended against my sword with front feet and I have to use my boots to barely catch up to its speed. Before using the skill, I fully want to strengthen limits. The monster in the forest are powerful but mad. The one went inside and madder the monsters they will find eat a good thing as it better to fight against mad monster than somewhat intelligent. Fire it strike. Second strike. The power of the first strike won't able to do much. it is better to directly use the power of the second tide. Bearing the hammering pain in my head, speedily run toward the monster. Bang! I directly clashed against it with my shield while holding the sword in my which swinging toward its neck, and it can't stop it as its forelegs are against my shield and it didn't have time to dodge. Gotcha! Growling. My sword cut the few of the joints on its neck, it screamed with pain and attacked me with more madness. I was prepared for it, still, I received many injured on my arms legs. Drinking potion, I again dodged the monster's attack. With the heavy injury, its speed decreases a little but not much, but I am not worried as long as I used skill one more time, I can kill it. Bang, crack. Pooh. I failed to dodge and received the attack near my chest, which fractured and made me vomit a mouthful of blood. Mad it may be, but it is still a powerful monster of this forest that I barely contending against. I had small and big injuries all over my body and getting more. If not for me eating fruit of rebirth, I would be heavily injured by it by now. Time passes on and a couple of minutes remain till I can use my skill again. I am really jealous of Jill's speed type ability right now. With her speed, she is effortlessly dodging the attacks of Scorpion while injuring it with her skill, and she isn't even using her boots to augment her speed. If I had her speed, I would have easily killed this monster right now. Thud thud thud. I took a few steps back as I defended a blow using my shield. Thank God I have this knight grade shield, or defending against this monster attack would have been very difficult. First tide. Second tide. I activated the skill and used the power of both tides consecutive. Bang. I rammed my shield against the monster to keep busy at main attacking forelegs and used my sword with hand to attack its neck. It is the same strategy one used earlier when attacking it. Gotcha. Its whole body separated from its head but kept moving for a while before stopping it completely. I quickly drank healing potion and mana potion as I need both of them and removed the monster core out of its ears. Looking around, I found many people injured but still fighting with free corporal level evolvers helping those who are in need. Jill also heavily injured the monster she is fighting and should be able to kill it soon. This fight soon finished and everyone drank their potions and started to move without resting. All who entered this realm had experienced the wind and they can fight constantly for the day as long as they have enough potion. As the day passed, I fought against 4 more monsters, 3 on the same level as a centipede and 1 was a little stronger. In that fight, my left arm completely broke and I had to fight with only with the right arm, and by the time I killed it, my body got seriously injured. If not for we had set up camp not long after, I won't be able to fight much. Still, with amazing healing power I got from Fruit of Rebirth and drinking potion, it still took a day to completely heal that heavy injury. Chapter 115 Black Earth Bear Eye. Poochie. The body of the iron stilled and it lost at moments. This iron rat is one of the most annoying monsters I ever fought. Despite its half-meter size, it's damn sneaky and attacks with its sharp metallic nails whenever it got the slightest chance. There are wound all over my body. It's good thing I brought a lot of potions, otherwise it would have been hell to pay. I quickly drank the potion and sat by the tree, looking at the fight. It should be over at 5 minutes. This is the only fight that Jill finished before me. Despite those iron rats having a higher speed than the rest, it is still paled compared to Jill. That and its low defense made easier for Jill to quickly finish the fight. 5 minutes later, the fight finished and we started to move. If one would look, he will find that our speed doubled in yesterday. The intensity of the monster attacks kept increasing. We had to move fast to maintain our initial goal of reaching the core region forest in 9 days, but it will be very hard to follow that timeline. We kept moving fast, without stopping. Every now few minutes some monsters attacks, but were they dealt by corporal grade evolvers. Change the course. Rachel's shout comes out from the front. The scouts must detect some kind of danger. We, now and then, change the direction as scouts warned us of the danger. This forest is a little weird. Here monster of species live in a big group. Even feline monster who prefer extremely small group or hunt solo are found in hundreds around some area. That is why we get attacked by a large group of monsters, but it is not everywhere. William had said that in the core region horde of many monsters will attack us at the same time. I shuddered whenever I thought about that. Today is the 5th day and we will reach the core region on the 7th day sometimes. Fighting a horde of powerful monster will be very dangerous, some people may turn up dead. Some people here had experience of fighting the horde, as West Blood City yearly attacked by a monster horde. I also had some experience and I know how dangerous would be fighting them, hours and hours of fighting without any rest, it will be extremely dangerous. As we were walking on the change route, we heard the heavy footsteps as if every step causing the small earthquake. Our group suddenly stopped and became battle ready. Scouts had quickly come running from that direction and their faces looked little pale. They softly talked with Rachel and her expression turned serious. She stayed silent for a while contemplating but then expression became resolute for some reason. Dangerous monsters are coming and there is no reason in running. Rachel said loudly. We will fight the monsters here. Consider these monsters to a tiny glimpse of core region, she said and waited for loud footsteps to come closer. Gasp. I gasped seeing monsters coming out of. I've never seen such monster before. I've been warned by William though that there will be this kind of monsters though. That foreign energy is not only made monsters stronger and madder, it also mutated them. The more concentrate this foreign in their body, the more chances of mutation will occur in their bodies. The monsters are bears, humanoid bear, they looked giants with their height of being between 6 meters to 8 meters. Not only that, their whole bodies are black with layer on black earth covering their whole body. Roar. They come to us with a loud roar, there seem to more than 200 of them and more are kept coming. Be careful, this fight will be really dangerous? I said Jill as I saw bears coming toward us with loud footsteps. They looked really scary and with ferocious faces and sharp claws. If that claw were to hit anyone's head, his head will directly be squashed like a watermelon. Fuck. I cursed loudly. In humanoid black earth bears, I barely sense any initial level specialist grade monsters. There is very few initial level monster amongst them, I just hope I will get a chance to fight the initial level monster. Roar. A group of black earth bears came towards us, my face paled seeing all the mid-level and peak-level monster. Shit. I cursed when I mid-level black earth bears coming over us roaringly. Looks like we will have to handle it, till help arrives. I said to Jill and she nodded in affirmation. The black earth bear let out loud roar and attacked toward us with its big claw. Whoosh. The claw speed is swifter than expected, I dodged while Jill countered it. Clank. As she countered, the sparks let out in the point of contact, except for small scratch, her sword wasn't able to do anything. I am quite surprised to see that, her strength near equal to mine with me using the 24th move of Supreme Combat Exercise but with that, her sword only able to create a scratch over its skin. Roar. It let out a roar and attacked Jill which gave me chance to attack, using full strength while circulating Supreme Combat Exercise, I attacked back a black earth bear. Clank clank. I attacked it 2 times but before I attacked it with my third, it attacks me with its claw, with so swift speed that it would hit me before I could dodge. Gritting my teeth, I move my shield before me to receive the attack, this is going to hurt bad. Bang. Pooh, as I received its attack on my shield, I directed vomited blood due to shock and had to take a few steps back. If not for Jill distracting it, it would have followed and attacked me again. Quickly stabilizing myself, I checked my injuries. My face turned quite serious sensing my injuries neither heavy nor light but it wouldn't take them long to turn serious. Stabilizing myself, I looked to see Jill fighting against the monster, her condition quite good, having speed and nimbleness she can easily fight against a monster who isn't major in extreme speed. Jill, keep it occupied, I am going to use my skill. I said loudly, she nodded while fighting and intensified her attack making a monster roar in frustration. First tide. I shouted and attacked its shoulder. Clank, big clank heard and a spark flew but that all, except for minute crack, there is damage on it. Second tide, without wasting time and attack towards its back, with Jill occupying it, I can easily attack. Clank clank clank. I attack it back 3 times in fury but I got extremely shocked by seeing the result, except for few cracks there is no damage at skin. Bang. Poo poo. I hit by Bear's claw when I still shocked over Bear's defenses. It's good thing that I instinctively moved my shield front of me, otherwise my injuries would have been more serious. Chapter 116 Black Earth Bear 2. Fucking shit. I cursed myself as I wiped the blood off my lips. This time injuries are really serious. I quickly took out a healing potion and drank it in one gulp. It's good thing that partnered with Jill, who is speed type ability, otherwise, my condition would have been way worse. I take a look battlefield to see that nearly all the people are fighting except for few corporal level expert who is roaming the battlefield and helping those who are in critical condition. Rachel also watching the fight from the tall tree. I've never seen her fight in 5 days. I've been in the forest. She always finds a high ground in the battle and keeps watch on the battlefield without doing anything. Seeing the whole battlefield is busy and it will take tea. Seeing my injuries had started to heal, I started attacking the monster again, this time just little more careful. Jill. I'll distract it a little, you try and your skill on it. I said. From what I saw so far, she had 2 powerful skill which has greater power than my 9 raging strikes. The only problem is she is not well proficient in fighting. She had gained quite a fighting experience these days, but it is still not enough. If I had her skills, I may alone have able to kill this bear. Okay, I will try, she said. With Jill waiting for the right moment to strike, the monster's all attack get concentrated on me. This Black Earth Bear is abnormally swift and that I am really having a hard time dodging its moves despite circulating 24th move. The pain I am feeling using 24th move really immense. It is comparable to when I use 3 of my techniques together. I really trying to break the wall of a 24th move to create the 3rd, but it's really hard. The immense pain is at it is, but there is also this giant wall blocking my way. No matter how much I try, it wouldn't break down. I am not going to back down either. Future fights will be really dangerous and this monster is just a glimpse of the core region. The monster inside the core region will be more dangerous than the one I am fighting right now. Piercing spindle. I heard Jill shout as she swiftly attacks the monster. Her sword had turned into the blue spindle which has a very sharp edge. Pierce, the spindle completely pierced the monster defense without any obstruction. I completely was blown away seeing the power of this skill. The Black Earth Bear's defense just produced slight cracks when I used the full power of my skill, but an act of her skill directly pierced its skin without any obstruction, but the regrettable thing it missed the vital spot. Jill was going for its heart, but at last moment, the monster sensed the danger and moved a little. Jill had completely missed it and piercing the non-vital part below the heart. If the month or 2 of fighting experience, with her ability which gives her agility and speed and that terrifying skill, she would have directly able to kill it. Roar! The monster roared loudly in pain. Although her attack is missed, it still created a very deep wound. I had already put some distance in Jill's attack the monster. If she had missed the attack, at least I will be out of its immediate attack range for a while. It frenziedly attacked Jill, but she able to dodge its attack with her speed and agility. This monster's vitality is really strong. Despite a deep wound on its body, there no change in its attack, and as the time passed on, the wound on body started to heal. As the fight progressed on, its attacks become more ferocious. The only thing I concentrated on dodging its attack. Whenever my sword clashed with its claws, I felt immense shock travel through my arm. Despite being a knight grade sword, it can't fully block the shock. Many of my bones had been because of it. Not only that, I was many times thrown away monster's claws. It's good thing I had my shield with me, or me might be really dead right. Except for keeping it busy whenever Jill attacked with her skill, I put all my concentration on obstruction of supreme combat exercise, that will have given a slight chance to defeat it. If one looked at the monster body, one will find countless injuries on its body, some have even had little blood flowing through them. They were all inflicted by Jill. Whenever she attacked, she left a wound on the monster. The injuries looked fatal, but all of them were non-vital. The only time Jill comes close to fatally injuring it when she attacks its neck, but she still missed short. Stars and Twilight. Jill again attacked with the skill. This skill did not have the piercing ability like her other skill, but it is still very powerful in its own capability. Her sword started to emit faint darkness and stars could be seen twinkling on it as it inches closer to the monster. Clank. Monster stopped her skill head-on with its claws, and except for scars there are not even scratches on it. You drink potions, I will handle it for while, I said as I saw Jill pale and bloody face. Despite her swift speed, she has not uninjured. She was hit by Monster 2 times and one time she had loudly crashed against the tree, breaking her numerous bones. Roar, it roaringly came toward me. Seeing Jill swiftly retreating, I circulate 24th move of super combat excessive for full power. Clank clank clank, crack. Crack, it attacked me such swift speed that it never before that, I had to counter the claws with my swords. Bang. Crack, I blasted backward as I defended against its attack with my shield. This attack was really powerful, it broke some bones of my hand. As I stabilizing myself, my face paled as I saw Monster swiftly coming over. I am fucked. I am in no condition to wave my shield to counter it. I saw the corner of my eyes. Jill is coming toward me swiftly, but it is too late, the monster is way too near me. Gritting my teeth, I again tried to break the wall, but I couldn't break that wall. Still, I kept trying. Where are those fucking corporal grade evolvers who's supposed to rescue us? I ask in indignation. Left with no choice, I moved my sword and shield to counter it. First strike. Second strike. I forcefully activated the skill without caring for consequences. I can feel that skill is sucking my vitality to use as fuel to power up the skill. I didn't have time to care about this issue as huge claws inches away from me. Bang! Both of Monster's huge claws struck my shield and I can feel the immense force strike coursing in my body, breaking my bones, injuring my internal organs as flung away by the strike. Boom! Another change occurs in my body, as the immense force descended on me. It helps me break out of the 24th cycle of supreme combat exercise, thus starting the creation of the third seal. Chapter 117, Black Earth Bear 3. Bang! Pooh! I crashed against a tree and vomited a mouthful of blood due to shock. I thought the monster would kill me, but when looked up, I saw Jill is fighting the Black Earth Bear. Fuck. I cursed myself as senses the seal of supreme combat exercise is sucking my vitality. Just seconds before, I used my skill forcefully and it sucked a lot of vitality, and now seal is also doing the same. If I didn't do something right now, then I am really going to end up in worst condition. I somehow moved my broken hand toward my right pocket to take out a fistful bottle of potions. All of them were vitality potion bottles. This is what seal of supreme combat exercise needs most. I drank one bottle of potion after another without care, as just as drank it, the seal would suck it all. It's at the 9th bottle when seal stopped sucking vitality and moved toward mana. Seeing that, I took out a few mana potion bottles from pocket and started to drink them. Jill could buy me a few minutes before I am good enough to fight. Soon cool sensation started to spread every part of my body, healing it, making it stronger. This sensation really feels very soothing. I just want to keep revealing it, but soon it's gone. I checked my body to see only half my injuries are healed. I first got startled seeing that, but I soon remember an important thing about it. Supreme combat exercise main job is making the body's strength increase, means making it faster and stronger, and its other benefits are just side perks. Healing energy is one of the side's perks. If I was still in private grade, this energy would be enough to bring me back from death, but at the specialist grade, it is not enough to fully heal my injuries. Still, I am very satisfied as most of my bones are healed and only minor fractures remain. With 3 seals, my body had become strong enough that I will be able to dodge most of the monster moves as long as I didn't make any mistakes, and most importantly, I can use the power of 3 tides right now. With it and Jill's help, we can definitely kill it. I quickly drank the healing potion to heal the rest of my injuries and got up to help Jill. Jill seemed to be perfectly controlling the monster, but her body also had various injuries. Although her injuries are not as serious as mine were, they are still serious. Jill, keep it busy, I am going to attack it with my skill, I said. Her face looked confused for the moment, but she nodded. She may be feeling confused because many times I attacked this monster before with my skill, except for a few scratches on its body, it wouldn't able do anything. First tide. Second tide. Third tide. I shouted loudly as I consecutively activated the power of all 3 strikes and ran toward the monster. There is no point of using power first and the second tide other than waste mana, as they are barely able to put some scratches on its defense. So, it's best to power third tide directly. It will save me excess of mana and also will give me a little more time. Roar. It roared at me, seeing I am coming toward it with full momentum. It wanted to attack but stopped when Jill also activated her Stars and Twilight skill. Now is the best chance. I thought an attack at its hand directly. I want to try to cut it, having its strength half. Roar. It roared when it saw my sword coming towards its hand and wanted to stop it, but it is obstructed by Jill's sword. Slice. My sword slice on its arm, but soon my expression turned ugly as my sword obstructed by the bone. My sword able sliced past its tough defense layer and flesh after it, but as soon as it touched its bone, it stopped advancing. The expression on my face turned ugly seeing this. I thought if not truly able to cut its arm in 2, I would at least cut it half, leave it dangling. It will be near useless, but it is obstructed and did not cause much damage even after using the full power of 3 tides. Only if I use the power of the 4th tide forcefully, will I able to cut the arm in 2, but that is my last option as I still have one more option. Roar. I swiped its other claw toward me, but I quickly dodged it with remaining skill power I had in my body. It angrily came toward me, but it was stopped by Jill, and after drinking the potion, I also went to fight with it. Jill doesn't use any skill for a while. I said. She looked at me questioning at first, but seeing I wasn't answering back she just nodded and went back to fighting. It will take 10 minutes before I can use my skill again, and that is when I will execute to plan to kill the monster. Jill and I kept fighting the monster. It is less fighting, more like dodging its dangerous claws. We may speed and strength increased a little. I can dodge its attack more effective, despite that I received many of its claw scratches on my body. Time passed and soon 10 minutes passed. It is time I can use my skill again. Jill, can you pierce monster's skull if I stopped monster for attacking you for few seconds? I asked Jill while fighting the black earth bear. She didn't say anything for a while. If you can make sure the monster wouldn't attack me at any condition, just for 2 seconds, then sure I can kill it, she said with confidence. She may have less fighting experience than anyone else, but she has utter confidence in herself to what she promised. Okay, I will give 4 seconds. For 4 seconds I keep monster at bay and it will not attack you in any condition. She nodded and put some distance between monster and her. Piercing spindle. 1st tide. 2nd tide. 3rd tide. Both us activated our skill at the same time. Just that I had to keep busy this monster and she had to kill it. Roar. It roars, seeing Jill moving toward it back and move to attack. Gets very agitated whenever Jill used that spindle skill of her. There are already 3 holes because of it, in its body, mad that it is, but it still to keep sense toward the danger. Bang bang, countered both of its claws with the full power of my skill. Still, I felt the immense force coursing through me and injuring my bones organs. I had to hold it back, without giving it a chance to attack Jill at any condition, or all efforts will be wasted. I had to give the time to Jill that I promised. I let go my shield and sword and gripped both of its claws with my bare hands. Roar. Ah, I gripped large claws with my tiny hand. A stream of falling slowly could be seen. The monster roared loudly as to get out my hand, but I wouldn't let go. I started to feed all mana and vitality that had its seals without reservation. My both palms are sliced bone deep and blood is flowing through them. It looked like minutes had passed, but barely 3 seconds had passed, but every second felt like a year due to this immense pain. Puck! I finally heard that sharp sound of a sword piercing the skull and its lifeless body fall into the ground with me. Chapter 118. Maximilian. Michael, I heard someone calling me. I tried to open my but couldn't, then a familiar warm sensation had spread through my body. Michael. I heard my name calling again, and this time when I tried to open my eyes, they opened and I saw the face of Jill in front of me. Did I go unconscious for long? I asked, looking around. There seemed to be many people fighting the black earth bears. No, you were unconscious barely 5 minutes, she replied. I nodded and was about to get when a thought comes to mind that my palm was slit bone deep by monster claws. But when I look up, I saw the bandage on my wounds, especially on my palm, and my body seems to be healing. Michael, that was really dangerous. You could have been seriously hurt if there had been a little mistake. Jill said. A little guilt could be heard in her voice. I just smiled and slowly got up and drank a vitality potion to aid the healing potion. I am seriously injured, especially my palm. I don't think I will able to handle a sword very well, for an hour at least. I just hope that the next monster will attack at least an hour to attack. Thank you, Jill, for sending your monster over, said Aaron. He one of our teammate, he and another body also fighting mid-level Black Earth Bear, and seeing they are having a very hard time, Jill had asked her monster to help them. If we had her monster against our fight against Black Earth Bear, we would have a lot easier time in killing Black Earth Bear. Aaron and our other teammates' condition looked little worse than me as they sat down by the tree and drank the potions. In the other hand, Bitsy Jill's monster seemed relatively unharmed. It just has few scratches over its body, but still, Jill fed it forcefully. While sitting beside the tree reading, I took a look at the whole battlefield, and as time passed, I noticed a peculiar thing. The mid and high-level corporal grade evolvers that roaming the battlefield are not much helping. They are only helping those who are seriously injured, otherwise they will not raise a hand. I found it quite weird at first and felt quite angry at them about not helping despite having the chance and power to do that. It is all probably ordered by Rachel. One can act like this on his own mind, but not all of them. But when I thought carefully for a while about it, I understood the reason. She probably wants a specifically specialist grade to fight monsters with own power and evolve and not rely on corporal grade. Because when we reach the core region, there will be no corporal level evolvers to rescue us from a strong monster, as they themselves will be busy saving their own life. The fight has lasted for more than half an hour and nearly left all specialist grade evolvers injured. I thought Rachel will make us travel in that condition regardless, but she had ordered another half hour of rest. I heaved a sigh of relief hearing that. Another half of hour is enough time me to heal my injuries enough to fight off against the monsters. It is only early afternoon when we started to travel again, and 20 minutes later we came across another group of monsters. Thank the god, they were not as powerful as black-yellow bears, and fight ended early. As the day passed by, I fought against more and more monster, and by the time evening rolled on, I had fought 9 monsters whole day, including Black Earth Bears. Looking at the time, we should be making a camp, but we were still traveling. For the past 4 days, we always start preparing the camp at this time as the sky started to darken, but Rachel is still leading us without stopping. Not only me, everyone had this question on their mind: do you know why we aren't setting the camp? I asked Jill, but she just shook her head saying no. We walked for 15 more minutes before we came across the large clearing, and I was surprised by what I am seeing. There is large clearing, large enough that we could easily place 3 or 4 camps inside it, and that the surprising thing is there is already another group camp placed. Ever since we left the big camp, dividing into 8 groups, we had not seen each other. Sometimes did I hear some faint fighting sounds, but that's all. I've never seen people from another group for the past 4 days. As we enter the clearing, the small opening opened from their protection artifact, and the handsome boy looked a year older than me, come out of it. I don't know why, but he feels familiar, either I've seen him somewhere or some like him. As he comes out, the 10 or so monsters that were attacking the dome left at him. Seeing the monsters attacking him, he seemed unfazed and kept walking. When the monsters got really close to him, less than half a meter closed, he suddenly activated the spear and attacked the monster swiftly. His spear movements were clear and efficient, and at the same time elegant. I've never seen anyone so skillful as him using the weapon. The spear passed through monsters' bodies as it were butter knife, and they were butter. He killed all the monster in second. And many of these monsters were elite peak corporal grade monsters. Despite the same level as them, he slaughtered them as they were chickens. This Max is too much of a show-off. Jill muttered under her breath. Do you know him? I asked curiously. Yes, our parents are friends, she replied. I nodded and didn't ask more questions. Rachel, you are late, said Max as he came closer to Rachel. We had come across some small problems, Rachel replied with her serious expression. After greeting each other, they started to talk softly so no one can hear them. They talked for a few minutes before Rachel started to set up a protection artifact around the camp. Chapter 119 William's Rex. Rachel had set up our camp beside Max's. If one looked from a distance, he would see two big blue domes side by side. I went inside and directly laid on the floor without freshening up first. Normally I freshen up first before resting, but today I am too tired to do that. When Rachel had activated Protection Artifact, she said that she will make an important announcement 2 hours later before dinner. It is probably related to the why Max camp here. I am really curious to know why another camp is here. It really feels good to just lay on the floor and rest. I got injured many times today, especially that time when I gripped claws of the monster with my bare hand. I am still quite injured and feeling pain all over the body. The pain is least of my problem. What I am worried about is my performance. Today's fight with Black Earth Bear taught me many things about my strength and weaknesses. If I rationalize my strength and weaknesses, then my first weakness would be my monster. Compared to other monsters, Ashlyn gave me next to nothing physical enhancements, and the fire ability that I gained from her is really weak. I did not regret choosing Ashlyn, even for a second. I will still choose Ashlyn if I am given a chance again. My second weakness is my fighting style. I did not know any fighting style. I just learned Nightblade style for barely a month. What I learned are the basic postures, and they are not even complete. Even Jill, who is quite inexperienced in fighting, she is quite proficient in the fighting style. I am one of the very few people here in the camp that don't know any fighting style. There is no mulling over the things that I can't control. What I can do is increase my strength fast as I can. There are two ways to quickly gain strength. One is to level up, while other is supreme combat exercise. It's not in my control to level up, and I don't think Ashlyn could find another miracle fruit to level up. The level up option is completely up to the fate. The second and last option is supreme combat exercise. I had already made the third seal, and I am circulating the third move to create the fourth seal. Theoretically, anyone can create as many as seal one want as long as one has enough mana and able to circulate move of supreme combat exercise. But it is very difficult. Mana is not a problem as I have hundreds of bottle of mana potions. The problem is, it's damn painful. I am nearly at my limit. The third movement of the fourth seal I am circulating feels very painful. It feels like someone grinding your bones and you are living that experience, but supreme combat exercise is the only choice I have. As I don't think Ashlyn going to bring such miracle fruit that will increase my strength exponentially, I'll have to grit my teeth and endure the pain for strength, or it'll be serious trouble when we reach the core region. I opened my backpack while laying on the floor and took out fruit from it. There is still time before dinner and I am feeling really hungry. Delicious. I said after taking bite of fruit. I don't know where Ashlyn bring these types of juicy fruits, but all of them sure tasty. This fruit I am eating is green in color and looked like a combination of peach and apple, but it's sour fruit with a slight amount of sweetness. After you take a bite of it, tantalizing sourness filled your mouth, and when you thought the sourness will deepen, that's when slight sweetness filled in your mouth, which makes it taste so delicious. Not only these fruits are delicious, they are also filled with mana and other perks, like this one. It is sending slight soothing energy into my body, its energy more mild than the potions. In a few seconds the energy and soothing feeling disappeared, but it also took my fatigue with it. I feel quite good eating these fruits, although Ashlyn less and less each day, but they are enough. Knock knock. A knock sounded on my tent. Come in. I shouted and got up and sat by the flap of the tent. Soon the flap opened and William came in a tent. I am little surprised seeing him. I thought it would be Jill. William? I said in the question, William and I consider past by friends or just colleagues, unlike his sister who grown to be a good friend to mine. He looked at me hesitantly as if wanted to ask something but hesitating about it. I just about to ask him what does he want when he spoke. Michael, do you some of those fruits that your monster bring? He asked nervously. My expression turned askance as normally William's expression is a mixture of serious and he only smiled when he talking to his sister or talking with her crush. Seeing my instinctive askance expression he explained quickly, Well, I finally got a date with Sienna, but this damned place didn't have anything. I was wondering if you have any of those delicious fruits to left, he asked nervously. Oh, congratulations, I said and retrieved some fruits from my backpack. So, this is why he is so nervous. I could totally understand. I still remember how nervous I was for the first date that I took hours to get ready, and even my mother had made fun of me, seeing me like this. Here, take them. I enlarged the bowl and put them inside it and gave them to William. Thank you, he said and left quickly. He must be getting late for his date. I did not do anything for the next 1.5 hours, just laid on the ground and relaxed, enjoyed the silence of the camp. I only got up and freshened up when it was time to leave. Chapter 120 To the Marshland I. Oh. Come out of my mouth when I opened the flap of my tent and about to go out, I found Jill in front of me and her hand in the air, which is about to knock on my tent. Ha ha ha. Jill started to laugh loudly, and seeing her laugh, I also laughed a little. Your brother hasn't come back from his date yet? I asked. If it were back home, one night wouldn't be enough for a date, but the place like this, which is enclosed in protection artifact, an hour is more than enough. I am even surprised that the girl agreed for a date in a place like this. At least she would have waited till they had safely reached home. Seems like that girl is also interested in William to go on a date in a place like this. Nope, he said he will meet directly at dinner before he left, said Jill with a smile. Soon we arrived at the center of the camp, and like us, many people stood there waiting for Rachel. She had said that she has something important to announce. Soon all the people came, and it didn't take Rachel long to come. William also came in last, smiling and talking happily with a beautiful girl. His date must have gone really great to see him in this great mood. I call all you people here because I have an important announcement to make. Rachel's voice fell into my ears. This must be related to why there is another camp beside ours. Tomorrow we are going to take a shortcut to the core region, she said. Taking shortcut. It is never a good thing to take a shortcut in dangerous, especially the place like this. Normally it would take us 6 or 7 days to cross the middle region, but with us taking shortcut it will take us 2. Makes no mistakes, it will be very dangerous, but our losses will be less. 7 days traveling to the middle region, and there will be another group will come with us for safety, she said. So that is the reason another camp is here. They must have made these plans back in the camp. I wonder how other camps are doing compared to us. The shortcut is through marshland. I will send you the info we had gathered about monsters there, she said, and tapped a few buttons on her holowatch, and soon after there is a notification on my holowatch to accept the data or not. I quickly accepted but did not open the file. I will open it after dinner. The dinner is started after Rachel's announcements. Both Ashley and I being hungry, we ate our heart's content. After eating I left for my tent with Jill while William was still busy talking and smiling with his new girlfriend. I opened the file in my tent and started to read it. The document is long. It has a rough structure of marshland and list of monsters that we likely come across. The most important thing I've come to know from this document are monsters' battle power. They are divided from A to F, while F being weakest and A being strongest. Ashland species did not fit even F category. Even after mutation she can reach F grade. The monsters that I usually fight back home are mostly F or upper F grade, and rarely I come across the E grade monsters. In this realm, even weakest monster are upper E grade. Until now, I've fought D and C grade monster. The document said that the black earth bear we fought in the afternoon was upper C grade monster, nearly reaching lower B grade. It is written here that the monster we will encounter in the marsh will be the upper C grade, but when we will reach the core region most of the monster we will encounter will be B and lower B grade, and we might encounter upper B grade monsters in core region of the forest. The difference may seem so small, but it is huge. If that black earth bear had been a true lower B grade monster, there would have more than 50% chance that I would have died by its claws. That's how powerful they are. I heaved a sigh of relief, thinking when we travel in marshland, at least there will be 1,000 people around me. If we can't beat them with quality, then we will beat them with quantity. I started to read the description of the monster that was found in marshland. I little shuddered reading the description of the monsters. It is not very detailed, but one can easily surmise the strength of monsters as long as one is not an idiot. Within half an hour, I fully finished reading the document and closed my eyes with a sigh. My strength is not enough. I may be able to survive the marshland, but it will be really difficult to survive in the core region. Any monster with B-grade battle power would be seriously able to injure me with its casual attack. I need to be stronger. Strong enough to not casually killed by some random monster in the core region. I got up and started to stretch my body, although my body is still injured but not enough to stop me doing any serious. After stretching, I started to perform those weird exercises of Nightblade style while circulating supreme combat exercise. Except in fight, this is also the best method to practice supreme combat exercise, at least for me, as I don't have those machine which could mute the pain. I gritted my teeth to endure the pain of exercise. This really painful, every circulation of it is more painful than others. Scientists were never able to understand why practicing supreme combat exercise is extremely painful. If you make minutes change in circulation, the pain will instantly be gone and there will no benefits you will receive. I read that many people tried to modify it to make it less painful, but no one able to do that till date. I kept practicing weird exercise for 4 hours, and in these 4 hours, I've tried hundreds of times but only able to reach the 4th circulation, and the pain of 4th moving me so hard that I nearly fainted. After 4 hours, I've become so tired mentally and physically that I directly fell asleep while performing the exercise.